All right, let's dive into one of the biggest questions out there. I mean, if you believe that our entire universe is made of these unimaginably tiny vibrating strings of energy, well, how do they interact? How do they even talk to each other to create, well, everything?
And really, think about that for a second. How do the absolute most fundamental building blocks of reality communicate with each other to build the world we see? We're talking about everything from particles and forces to you and me. It's not just about what strings are, it's all about what they do.
So how do you even begin to tackle that? Well, physicists have a clever trick. Instead of trying to track every single frantic wiggle of a string, they kind of zoom out. They look at things in a low-energy state. And doing this simplifies the picture a lot. It reveals this hidden landscape of theories that are all governed by something called supergravity, which is this really powerful idea that weaves gravity together with all the other forces.
You know, a great way to think about it is like looking at a Monet painting. If you get right up close to it, it's just this chaotic mess of individual brushstrokes, right? But when you step back, when you lower the energy, lower the detail, a beautiful, coherent picture just emerges. That's exactly what this low-energy view does for string theory.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This simplification doesn't just give us one single theory. Oh no, it reveals 5 completely distinct, totally self-consistent versions of how the universe could work. 5 different flavors of reality, if you will, and each one is a potential blueprint for, well, for our universe.
Okay, so here are the 5 big contenders. You've got the type 2 theories, which are kind of like close cousins. Then there's type 1, which is really unique because it has both strings that are open-ended and strings that are closed loops. And finally, you have these 2 heterotic theories, which are these really clever hybrids. Now, they all have different rules, different symmetries, but they all share one critical fate. To even be considered a possibility, they have to pass this brutal, unforgiving mathematical test.
And that test brings us to the main villain of our story today, a fatal mathematical flaw that physicists call an anomaly. If a theory has one of these lurking in its equations, it's just game over. The theory is dead.
And I want to be really clear about this. An anomaly isn't some small error you can just patch up. It's a deep, fundamental contradiction baked into the theory's core. It's the mathematical equivalent of proving that 1 equals 2. A theory with an anomaly starts predicting total nonsense, like probabilities that are negative or more than 100%. It's the universe's way of telling you that your theory is fundamentally broken.
And this is what that test looks like, the anomaly polynomial. Now, don't worry, you don't need to understand every symbol here. What matters isn't solving it, but just getting what it represents. This thing is a super precise calculation of all the potential ways a theory could contradict itself, from every particle, every field, every interaction.
And this right here is the bottom line. It's beautifully simple. After you plug in all the messy parts of your theory into that huge equation, and after you do all the math, every single one of those complicated terms has to perfectly cancel out. The final answer must be 0, period. If it's anything else, even the tiniest fraction off, the theory is toast. So you'd expect most theories to just fail this test, right? And, you know, most of them do. But when physicists put these 5 superstring theories through this mathematical gauntlet, something truly extraordinary happened. Something that, from a purely mathematical point of view, looks an awful lot like a miracle.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote comes directly from the physics literature, and it perfectly captures that feeling of just pure surprise and awe. I mean, it's one thing for a theory to be consistent. It's a whole other thing for it to achieve that consistency in such an elegant and totally unexpected way.
So what happened? Well, in the type 2b theory, for example, there are several different parts that could create a dangerous anomaly. You've got contributions from things called gravitinos and from other fields. Each one on its own is a problem, but when you add them all up, they just conspire. It's as if they were designed to perfectly cancel each other out, and the total sum is exactly 0. The theory is anomaly-free. It passes the test.
Now, for the other theories, the solution was maybe even more stunning. At first, it looked like they did have anomalies. It looked like they were going to fail. But then, back in 1984, 2 physicists, Green and Schwartz, discovered a new effect, a subtle interaction nobody had accounted for. And when they added this new piece into the equation, poof, it canceled the anomaly perfectly. This incredible save is now known as the Green-Schwartz mechanism.
And this isn't just some mathematical sleight of hand, okay? This cancellation corresponds to a real physical process, which you can represent with diagrams like this hexagon graph.
What's so amazing here is that a really basic, simple interaction manages to perfectly cancel out a much more complex and dangerous problem. It's this beautiful, unexpected link between the simple and the complex that makes the whole theory hold together.
So, all 5 superstring theories survive the anomaly test. Why is this such a big deal? I mean, what does this actually tell us about the fundamental rules of our reality?
Well, for starters, this is way more than just a lucky break. It's a sign of a really deep internal consistency. Anomaly cancellation acts like this incredibly powerful filter that just rules out countless other would-be theories. It basically dictates the very structure a universe can have. For example, the reason some theories need that specific SO32 symmetry group, it's because that's one of the only structures that makes the math work out to zero. The need for consistency literally forces the rules on the theory.
And that leaves us with this really profound question to chew on. The fact that these theories have this incredible mathematical elegance, this almost miraculous self-consistency, it really suggests something deep about our world. Maybe the rules of our universe aren't just some random accident. Maybe they're the inevitable outcome of a mathematical logic so rigid and so beautiful that no other kind of reality was ever even possible.